In this video, we'll learn how to create a stock items in Tally Prime. So we'll go to a Tally Prime and we'll see. So we have created two different companies, Creative Business Solutions and Avanayakta Solutions. But we are creating a stock item, the company name called Avanayakta Solutions, which is showing in a bold color. So to create a stock items, we go with a create option, stock items. In this field, we'll create a stock items. So we'll take a same examples what we have explained in creation of groups or stock groups. We go with the same examples here. We'll continue it. So we'll give a stock item name as Sony Bravia 43 inches TV. So we have groups listed over here. So if you want to know how to create a group, you can refer a stock group video so that you'll come to know how to create a group here. So Sony TV, we have a group here. So we group it under Sony TV. So for a briefing, I'll just tell you how we have created a television as a main group as a common name. So in television, we have a different companies who deals with televisions. So like Sony TV, Samsung TV, Pelex TV, and Videocon. So everything has been grouped under television. So now we are creating the stock item as Sony Bravia 43 TV. So we group it under Sony TV itself. We will not group it under television. Television is a common product. Out of that common product, we have a brand of Sony. So in this brand, Sony TV, there is a Sony Bravia 43 as a model of a product. So we go with Sony TV here, and this televisions will be measured in numbers. So even we have created some unit of measures. So if you want to know how to create a unit of measures, you can check a video of unit of measures. So this Sony TV has been measured in numbers, not in bags or a bags of 25 kg, kilograms, liters, or any other measurements. It will be measured in numbers. So we go with numbers here. So next we have a costing method. So if you are not getting this costing method options, you can press F12 and you can enable the options here. So whatever the options you want, you can enable or disable according to your requirements in F12 configuration. So I'll just go a brief of this options. So we have some options here like general details. So you can give alias for name, which is a second name of a product, or a other name, or a pet name. You can also call it as pet name for a product. Provide language alias for name. So what is the language you need to use to give a alias? You can enable this and you can give, otherwise you can skip. So generally we give in English itself. So will not use much of this particular option. So next we have a part number. So many industries will give a part number for their products, and they identify their products on a part number, not on the basics of the product name. So if you want to give some description as a default description, and it will be printed in your invoices also. So in that case, you can enable this option to yes, and you can use. If you want to have some notes for your references, you can enable this option and you can give your notes for your references. Similarly, we have some inventory details like stock group we are already using. We have taken Sony TV as a stock group. Category of stock item we are not using. If you want to use, you can use this category also. Unit of measure, yes, we have taken numbers for each and every stock item. Unit of measure is very important, so we have enabled and we are using that. Use alternative unit. So if the product has been sold in two different unit of measures, then you can enable this option to yes, and you can use one more unit of measures. For example, if I take an example of rice will be sold in kgs and as well as in bags. So we have two different unit of measure. In that cases, you can enable this option as yes, and you can give a conversion. If it is kgs, how many kgs, or if it is bag, how many kgs of one bag you are going to sell. So in this, you can convert your unit of measures and you can sell the product. So similarly, we have bill of material, standard and buying rate, MRP, default accounting allocations, all these things. So we'll cover in the different videos. So now we have enabled use costing and market valuation method as yes, and set option for stock item behavior as yes. Due to these two options, we are getting a costing method and market valuation method and behavior option. So we'll see this product, what exactly it is. So whenever you are using a inventory and whenever purchase and sell a product, you want to identify what is the stock lying in your godown or lying with you. And even the valuation is very important. How we need to value it. So we have different types of valuations here. You can select any valuation method as per your requirement. As per this valuation method, your stock will give you the report and the valuation will be done. And even the market valuation method, this is depending on your sales price, and the costing method will depends on your purchase price. So next we go with provide behavior option. So if I enable this option to yes, we have some features. Ignore difference due to physical counting. So sometimes what happens in a system, it shows you have a 100 number of stock, but when you go to a godown and if you count physically, it will be around 95. So then what about this 5 number of product? So it may be a theft or it may be a sold without billing. So there are some reasons due to some shortage of product from the system to a physically available in a godown. So in this case, if you want to pass a physical stock journal, you can pass and you can rectify the mistakes. If it should not affect your books of accounts, then you have to enable this option. If you want to affect those transactions to your report, then you can disable it. So next we have ignore negative balance. So if you are not maintaining the inventory properly, the same scenario, if you are getting 100 numbers in a product and if you want to sell 105 numbers where the product is lying but you have not passed the transactions, so in that cases Tally will give you a pop-up message while passing a sales transaction stating that you don't have a stock in your hand. It is in negative. So if you want to avoid this pop-up message, you can enable this option to yes, so that Tally will not give you the pop-up message. So next we have treat all purchase as new manufacturer and treat all purchase as consumed. So even these two options will be used for a manufacturer where he is not maintaining a inventory properly. So what usually the manufacturer will do? Will purchase a raw materials and will convert into a finished goods and will sell a finished goods product, right? So if he is not passing a transaction of conversion of raw materials into finished goods, then your stock summary will go wrong. Your stock summary says your raw materials will be in positive and your finished goods will be in negative. So which is completely wrong. So in that cases, if he doesn't want to show the conversion of product, then you can enable these two options to yes, so that whenever you purchase a raw materials at the same time, Tally assumes that it has been converted into finished goods, and in your stock summary report the stock will be zero always. Similarly, treat all sales as new manufacture. So whenever you make a sale of a product, at the same time Tally will also take a invert that it has got manufactured now and it has been sold. Your finished goods as well as your raw materials will be zero in your stock summary at all the time. So if you're not maintaining a inventory, then you can use these two options and you can avoid a negative balance or a wrong report which shows in a stock summary report. So next we have treat all rejection invert as scrap. So if the customer has rejected a product and is giving back the product, then when we receive, that should not be added to the cost. It should be treated as a scrap. So in that case, you can enable this option to yes, so that it will not add to your closing stock and it will be treated as scrap due to some damage issue. So you can enable or disable these features as per your requirement. So I just explained you the behavior, how it behaves in Tally. So if you are using a GST part, we'll go with GST applicable, and we go with set alter GST details to yes, and we give a configuration. So at present we'll skip this, we'll see all these things in a GST topic. So here we give some opening balance like 10 numbers at 45,000 rupees per unit, and we'll accept the screen. So similarly we create some products and we'll see our reports. So we create Sony Bravia 38 inches, will be grouped under again Sony TV itself, and it is measured on numbers, and we'll give some opening balance as 10 numbers at 40,000 rupees each. So now we go with a different brand like Videocon 40 inches TV. So this will be grouped under Videocon TV, and even this will be measured under numbers, and we'll give some opening balance as 10 at the rate of 42,000 rupees, and we'll accept it. So next we'll create one more model, Videocon 38 inches TV. We'll group it under Videocon. Unit of measure will be numbers, and we go with 10 numbers at 38,000 rupees each. Similarly, we'll create some mobile phones also like Nokia 9. So this cannot be grouped under Sony TV or a Videocon. So the product itself is different. It comes under mobile. So mobile is a default group what we have created. For the same, you can refer the previous video how to create a groups and all, so that you can understand how we have created all these things. So we have created Nokia under mobile as a subgroup. So we go with Nokia here, and even the mobile will be measured in numbers, and we'll give some opening balance as 10 numbers at 15,000 rupees each. Similarly, we create one more. So we go with Nokia 7 Plus. You can go with Nokia again, made of measure numbers, 10 numbers at 13,000 rupees each. Similarly, we go with one more product model. We go with MI 9 Pro. Will be grouped under MI. Even MI is a subgroup of mobile. We go with MI, treated as numbers. We give 10 numbers at 15,000 rupees each. So next we go with MI 10. We'll group it under MI, and we'll give opening balance as 10 at 18,000 rupees, and we'll accept the screen. So now we'll create one more stock item called rice. So what should be the primary group here? So can we go with pen or mobile or a television? So the product doesn't belong to any group. So in this case, you can go with either primary, or you can go with the create option, and you can create a new group. So we go with create option, and we'll create a group called rice. Under rice again you have a subgroups like Sona Masuri rice, Basmati rice, etc. So we'll just create a Sona Masuri here, and we'll accept this screen. And the rice will be measured in kgs, not in numbers. So still now we have used numbers as a unit for TV and mobile products, but the rice will be measured in kgs. So we go with unit of measure as kgs. So be careful while selecting a unit of measure. So whatever the units you are going to select here, the same will be shown in your transaction. So once you pass a transaction, later on if you want to edit your unit of measure, or if you want to change your unit of measure, then it cannot be possible. The cursor will not move to unit of measure to edit your stock items. If you want to edit, then you have to delete all the transaction, but whatever you have passed, then you have to edit a unit of measure here. So next we give some opening balance like 1000 kgs at 40 rupees and will exit the screen. So this is how you can create n number of stock items with the proper grouping and proper unit of measure, so that our reports will be fine. So we'll go with the stock summary report and we see what is the effect by using a groups to create a stock item. So for the same, we'll come back to gateway of tally. We'll go to stock summary. You can see here you have a mobile and television and even a Sona Masuri rice. So if I take a mobile and television, so it says that 40 number is the opening stock or a closing stock, because we have not passed any transaction, so both will be same. So in a godown we have 40 numbers of television, so you can easily count of 40 numbers. So in that, so how many are belongs to Sony and how many are belongs to Videocon? I can press enter. It says Sony is 20 TV and Videocon is 20 TV. Totally it is 40 TV. It should be in my godown. So again, if I want to see what are the models we have in Sony TV, if I press enter, it shows a model wise opening stock or a closing stock, so that you can easily identify how many total number of televisions you have. Out of that, what are the brands you have? Out of that particular brands, what are the models you have? You can easily figure it out by using groups and subgroups like this. The same way you can also see mobile. So mobile is a common product. So we have 40 mobiles. So out of 40 mobiles, we have MI 20 numbers, Nokia 20 numbers. So MI, we go with the model wise. If I press enter, it says MI 10, we have 10 numbers. MI 9 Pro, we have 10 numbers. Similarly, Nokia 7 Plus, we have 10 numbers. Nokia 9, we have again 10 numbers. Similarly, Sona Masuri rice, we have just created a rice with a quantity, weight and value. So but why the Sona Masuri rice is showing a report in different manner? If you have observed here, for mobile and television, we are getting a quantity, weight and value. But for Sona Masuri, we are getting only a value. So do we have done any mistakes? Yes, we have done a mistake by creating a group, a Sona Masuri group. I'll show you both the groups, a television and Sona Masuri, so that we can easily understand what the mistake we have done and how it affects a report. So first I go with television. So while creating a television, we have enabled the option called should quantity of item be added. If this option is yes, then in the main screen itself you will get a quantity, weight and value, all the three options in the main screen. And for Sona Masuri rice, we have not enabled this option. See, so if you have not enabled this option, we'll be getting only the value in the main screen. And if you press enter on it, then you'll be getting a quantity, weight and value. So if you want to show a quantity, weight also in the main screen itself, then you can enable this option to yes and you can check. So once I enable, you can see I can able to display a quantity, weight and value, everything. So this is how you can create a stock items by using different stock groups and with different unit of measures with the opening balance. And now, after creating a stock group or a stock item or a stock unit of measure. So if you want to edit something, if you have done any mistakes, a spelling mistakes or a configuration mistakes, or if you want to delete, then you can go with alter option. We go with stock item. For example, we go with rice. So if you want to delete this, you can delete. But the condition is you should not have passed any transaction by using this particular stock item. If you have passed some transaction, then the stock items cannot be deleted unless until you delete a transaction. And if you have done any mistakes while creating a stock item, you can come to alter option and you can alter the scene. So if I want to delete, the shortcut key is Alt D. So it will ask you, do you want to delete? Yes, and the item will get deleted. So now I'm not getting option called rice. So if you want to edit, I'll just go with Nokia 9 and I'll give a name called Nokia 9 Pro. I just want to rename it as Nokia 9 to Nokia 9 Pro. So I can edit at any point of time, even if you pass a transaction or not. Even after passing a transaction also, you can edit your name. But only the thing is, you should not edit a unit of measure once you pass a transaction. And moreover, Tally will not allow you to edit at all because it will not if you have passed a transaction. And you can accept the screen. So now if you see a product name, it is showing as Nokia 9 Pro. Before it was Nokia 9. Now it has become Nokia 9 Pro. So if you want to edit any options, you can edit at any point of time by going to an option called alter. If you want to create, use a create option. If you want to alter, use an alter option and you can alter anything. Thank you.